I'm personally torn by what's going on right now as far as online purchasing and delivery of like video game systems, and how should I say, consoles and whatnot. And I've remarked on it a little bit, but it occurs to me that, there's certain things that we could do as a community in order to demand that this stop or be stopped. The problem is the how should I say, the people behind it aren't doing enough to do anything about it. And that's what's causing the situation to get really out of control. I mean, this year was really bad to be a gamer, even though it should have been good to be a gamer. Because if you really think about it, we have never had a period in our lifetime where we could sit home and play video games the whole year long, from February the lockdown started onwards to basically now, because a lot of cities are still doing soft lockdowns. And you'd think that you'd be able to sit home and play video games because, none of y'all are really doing schoolwork. And you also know none of y'all are really working at home. Y'all are just basically sitting at home and y'all watching television and playing video games. But I think the shame of it is that, it was so difficult, if not impossible, to actually get these games and get these game systems simply because the scalpers jumped on. So I was just reading a story Tuesday, December 1st, 2020. PS5 scalpers say you snooze, you lose after buying 1,000 Xbox Series X before Christmas. Now, my thing is, I have been, what is it? I've been an Xbox Live member for probably I think it was probably last like 10 or 12 years or something like that. In fact, I'm still paying for it despite the fact I haven't touched my Xbox in like months. I can't tell you the last time I played on my Xbox, because after Mortal Kombat X, it was like I just didn't feel like playing it anymore. And then I got Mortal Kombat 11 on this computer right here. And the beautiful thing, if you really want to spend your money wisely, get yourself a gaming computer. Go buy an HP Omen or something. Get yourself a gaming computer, because I'll tell you, when you have a gaming computer, if you want to play Xbox games, all you got to do is get the USB cable. You hook an Xbox controller right to your computer. The PlayStation 5, you can hook a PlayStation 5 controller right to the computer. Some of the games you can play because they're cross-platform, but some of the PS5 exclusives, I don't know about those, but they're probably not worth the frustration and the aggravation, right? So these scalpers claim that they bought up 1,000 Xbox Series X. Now, here's the thing that kills me. So they say, okay, PS5 scalpers have claimed that they've scalped 1,000 Xbox Series X before Christmas. You snooze, you lose. They said that they had purchased 3,500 PS5 consoles, buying from retailers in order to sell to customers at inflated prices. And now that after the PS5 hype, now they're doing it to the Xbox. And it says both the PS5 and Xbox Series X are highly targeted by scalpers who purchase the products only to sell them back. And as like the PS5 was selling for more than $2,000 after pre-orders went live. See, now here's the thing that gets me. Like, I don't have to read this entire thing. You can read this yourself. It's at GameRevolution.com. And you've probably already read these things, because if you've looked for a PS5, chances are you couldn't get one. Here's the thing that kills me. When you go on eBay, now, what we really should do together as a community, because I think whipping Donald Trump's ass by 80 million votes, I think that should prove to you that our vote and our money matter. And even if you didn't believe that enough, there was always the boycott of the Montgomery Montgomery bus boycott under Reverend Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks, that prove that when you hit these people in their pockets, they have no choice but to change their policies. And my thing is, here you go. It says that there's a PS5 seller right here. And some of this information can't be doctored by the individual people. But it says that he's selling brand new PlayStation 5 disc versions on hand. See, that's what you have to look for because some of these people, they don't even have the system. They have a pre-order and they're waiting for the pre-order and they're selling you the right to be in the pre-order. I don't trust any of that bullshit. But my thing is, this guy sold 8 of these things at a price of $1,099. So basically, he doubled his money. If he sold 8 of these things at $1,099, then he's basically, if each one was $500, he's basically more than doubled his money. But I guess the reason why he says free shipping is because it probably costs him about $70 in order to actually ship these things, right? Or probably $50. I really don't know how much they charge because of the size of the box. But the thing that kills me is eBay knows that this is going on. Now, if I were eBay, or forget the corporate people at eBay, this is what we can do about it. What we all need to do about it is we need to all get together and either write a letter or demand that eBay stop allowing the sales of PlayStation 5s and Xboxes at anything more than MSRP. Think about it. If we made it so that eBay, if we told eBay, guess what? We're going to boycott your asses. And eBay, if you're the CEO, I want you to hear me because who knows? I might end up being the spearhead face of this movement against you because this isn't the first time this happened. As you know, over the last couple of months, I waited in line 3 times. I waited in line for the 3080, got one 3080, actually got 2, but anyway, I didn't get them to scalp them. I got him to actually, at one point, to use it because we were building one computer and whatnot. Then I went back and got online again for a 3090, managed to get one. Then I went back online and got a 3070. The thing about it is all of those video cards were being scalped. And the reason why I knew I had to go and get one is because otherwise I wouldn't have had one for my own system. But other than that, I knew that if I tried to order it, I knew I'd never be able to get it. What we need to do is we need to tell eBay and possibly even Amazon, we're going to refuse to buy anything from you unless you put a temporary suspension on these sales of these systems for anything more than MSRP. And eBay, the problem with eBay is they don't care because for him to sell this thing at $1,099, all they're going to do is charge him about $60 or $70 as a fee. And after that, they just don't care. So the thing about it is, some people are right now saying, you know what we should do? You should just wait until Christmas is over and wait a couple of months until these things are back in stock. The problem is you don't know if the scalping is going to continue. Think about Nintendo Switch. For as long as Nintendo Switch has been on the market, I have known nothing but Nintendo Switch to be out of stock. Now, personally, I don't play those games, those console games. I don't play those kiddie games. So I've seen Nintendo Switches in Walmart and I saw them and I was like, oh, that's cool. They have it in stock. And I just kept on going. And I could have bought one. I just didn't want one because I didn't need it. It's just like even me now. I have a computer. I can run any game. I got a Core i9 Extreme. I got a 3090. I got 64 gigs of RAM. I got 8 terabyte freaking SSD. Meanwhile, anybody who buys one of these stupid little systems, they're going to have to spend top dollar just to buy an SSD. They're going to have to spend like $200 for a 1 terabyte SSD. That's stupid to me because I was buying these things like crazy. Like, in fact, I have the boxes somewhere. But anyway, that's beyond the point. I built up and invested in building a gaming computer. I mean, I got it all. I mean, I basically play a lot of flight simulators. And I usually use my headsets or whatever. I was thinking about getting the Oculus Quest 2, but I don't know. Some people say, yeah, you should just get the Valve Index. But right now, because I have a 34-inch monitor, I'm not really that crazy to get virtual reality. I just want it because when you're playing a flight simulator, it's easy to look around. My point is, if you invest in a computer, you'd get so much more out of it than buying one of these consoles. The problem is people want this thing just so they can have it. And as we're approaching Christmas, this is December 1st today. As we're approaching Christmas, you're going to get a lot of these kids who are going to want PS5s and want Xbox. They're going to want Xbox Series X. They're going to want PS5s. And their parents are going to be stuck either being forced to pay $1,099 or in some cases $1,500. That's crazy. And the sad thing is, there's no other way for them to get it. There's just no other way. And my thing is, you have no idea how long the scalping is going to continue. Nintendo Switch has been on the market for about 3 or 4 years or something like that. I think it's probably about 3 years. But when you go to the stores, you don't see them in the stores because people buy them up, and the manufacturing is so low until even when they do come in, you don't really even see them. They just get purchased like almost immediately. And it really, really sucks because, especially with this is Christmas. Now, granted, first of all, a lot of you who are listening to this, you've got kids who've asked you for a PS5, and in my opinion, they probably haven't done anything to deserve it. So, in my opinion, I'd tell you up front, I'd be like, listen, just like I've told you before about cell phones, save your money. You shouldn't be buying a kid no cell phone, and second of all, you shouldn't be buying them something that costs $1,000 for a freaking video game system. So my only thing is, even though this thing at $500, I still think it's too much. My thing is, I do think it's unfair to the people who do want to buy these things because, another problem is it's not even just the kids. It's a lot of you grown-ass men who are 30 and 40 years old sitting at home on your asses playing PlayStation 5 while your woman is disappointed at you. She's not going to tell you anything up front secretly because she doesn't want to ruin her meal ticket and she doesn't want to end up either put out on the street or not be able to pay her rent. But I'll tell you like this. If you're over 30 years old and you don't know, and first of all, you probably don't even own a house. But if you're sitting at home at 30 years old playing PlayStation and your cheating girlfriend is out there driving her Nissan Altima and you don't realize it because you're sitting home on NBA 2K, you're part of the problem. So as far as I'm concerned, it's worse than just the kids. It's also you. But all I'm saying is this. If you want this scalping to stop, you need to get together and we need to make like a boycott of eBay and say, listen, until a year from now, if you don't stop these scalpers by putting MSRP caps on these sales, like they should cap all of these sales at $500. And then you've got the straight up scammers who've been trying to sell people pictures of PS5, and they're selling them pictures for $100, and the people get the thing. They're like, wait a minute, I didn't buy that. I bought a console. And then they find out, no, we tricked you into buying a picture. I'll show you that in a minute because I was looking at a news story. But it's a damn shame. Look at this asshole right here. $40 for the box. This guy is selling the box for $40, and somebody put a bid on it. There's people bidding for the box. That's ridiculous. Now, this person right here, this is a little bit more reasonable, but this is an auction. $860. This thing is going to go up to $1,000. It's 2 days left. eBay could easily put an end to this because you got to remember, if Microsoft and Sony, if they can't say, okay, well, we're only going to sell direct to the consumer and we're going to make you do an ID check and we're going to make sure we know who you are. And we're going to ship it directly to you. If they can't go through all that, the one thing that we could do is knock out the apparatus for the scalpers. If we knock out eBay, the scalpers will have no choice. They'll only have two choices. They'll either have to sell it to you at MSRP, which is fair, $500, or they're going to have to take them back and refund them. Here's the problem. The scalpers purchased these things using credit. They didn't use cash for this. They purchased them using credit. So it's like if you go into a store and you max out your credit card. Like, let's say I go into a store right now and I have a credit card with $10,000 as a limit, right? And suddenly they have a bunch of PS5s and there's no limit to how many I can buy. I can buy 10 PS5s with my credit card, and then I can scalp them for $20,000 in return, which would net me a profit of $10,000. The problem that you're facing is the fact that everybody's shopping with a credit card, number one. Number two, there's no limit placed on how many you can buy. And number three, the internet encourages the scalping by making it so that, that people can come on and demand outrageous prices. But I'll also say this. A lot of these bids are fake. A lot of these people who go on to the eBay and they bid, a lot of these bids are fake too because they're people who are trying to screw with the scalpers. And what they'll do is you'll see, if you're an eBay scalper or you're selling anything on eBay, sometimes you'll see a person who gets onto eBay, they have 0 stars because they haven't bought or sold anything prior. And they'll all of a sudden they'll jump on eBay in order to bid snipe somebody else at the last few minutes of the bid. And then they'll say that, yeah, I'm purchasing your system for $1,200. This is $1,200, and then they'll say, no, I'm not going to pay you. And what do they have to lose? Nothing. And the reason why is because stupidly, eBay doesn't verify their clients. If you get on eBay, they don't verify you. So the scams are going both ways now. If eBay would do what Sony and Microsoft should have done and verify all of the clients by saying, okay, first of all, we're going to give you a capture to make sure you're not a bot and make it a capture that a bot can't pass. That's number one. That'll make it so that you don't log in and automatically all the consoles are sold out. And the second thing we're going to do is we're going to check a credit card and we're going to send you a little code or something to your bank account, and then you have to re-enter that code back to us so we can verify who you are. A bot would never be able to pull that off. eBay doesn't verify. Sony, Microsoft, they're doing direct sales to Best Buy, Micro Center. They don't verify. The only thing you have to do is line up. Now, I think, especially considering it's November, that lining up in the cold and sitting on a bed and bringing a bed with you to sleep in the cold in front of a GameStop, that's ridiculous. But there's some people who are just willing to do it. And I can't fault them if they're willing to do it because I've done it once before. I went for the iPhone 6, and I slept in front of the Apple Store in Americana, Manhasset, right? And I'll never do that again, and I don't have to. And the reason why is because Apple, what they started doing, Apple started making it so that in order for you to get one of these phones, like right now I'm using a 12 Pro Max, 512 gigabyte, right? In order for you to get a phone, you had to pre-order. And they told you exactly what time to pre-order, and you jump on, you pre-order, and there's no way that a bot can get ahead of you because Apple actually makes sure that you're who you say you are. I have the Apple Card, for instance. By having an Apple Card and going onto their site, they already know that you're a real person. They know that you're not a bot. Apple said that the reason why they were doing the pre-order system was to make it so that there'd be no terrorist attacks against people standing online. That was brilliant. Ever since the iPhone 6, I have never had to wait online for one of these phones. When I want one of these phones, I go pre-order it, boom, walk in, get it, and I'm out. And that's it. If you have no pre-order, you're not getting it. Now, with these PlayStations and these Xboxes, the problem is that even pre-ordering it was rife with scams because these goddamn bots. So when Walmart and Best Buy tell you to log in at a specific time, everybody logs in at the same time and it crashes their servers. That's just stupid. So what some stores do is they just hand out vouchers. So if you wait in line, they give you a voucher and they're like, okay, you only get one per household. That's a little bit more fair than having everybody do stuff by computer because, again, you're not against a person. You're up against an organization. They are cheating you by using these bots in order to go on and automatically buy up entire crops. That's ridiculous. Now, I'm happy that I personally don't care about either one of these systems. Like, again, I haven't touched my Xbox in like almost a year because I got this PC. This thing's a monster. I love it. I'd just be playing DCS and Microsoft Flight Simulator and Counter-Strike. And it's like, I love my computer. I love it. I put so much money into this and it runs like a charm. Love it. But my thing is for the kids, and I hate saying this because the kids don't deserve this stuff. Let's face it, they haven't done anything to deserve a $500 video game console. When I was a kid, the most expensive thing I would ever ask for was like a bike or I think at one point a television, which was like $200. But now they've gotten you in the habit of buying $500 and $1,000 products. That's ridiculous. That's why you're in credit card debt. So most of these kids don't deserve this stuff. So if you can't get it, believe me, I'm not losing any sleep over it because it's not like the Grinch stole Christmas. It's like they don't even deserve this stuff. But as for you 30-year-old men who are sitting on your ass playing PlayStation while your wife's out there with her cheating girlfriend car, the Nissan Altima, y'all don't deserve it either. But I'll just say it like this. If y'all somehow come up with $1,000 from your Trump stimulus check to buy one of these things, okay, fine, whatever. Free market's always right. Go out and buy one. But this whole scamming thing, it just gets under my skin because I see the solution, but I don't see anybody doing anything about the solution. So in this story, it's like eBay is telling scammers to stop selling photos of the PlayStation 5 for hundreds of dollars. And by the way, let me also say this. To any of you who go on, like I was looking at to any of you who go on, what is it called? Facebook Marketplace, let me give you a warning right now. If you go on Facebook Marketplace, chances are there's a scammer at the end of it. If you know a person personally who has multiple units, maybe you can buy one from them, no problem. But if you go on eBay, I'm guaranteeing you somebody's trying to scam you. Like, look at these things. $700 Bronx, New York. Bronx, New York, $600. Long Island City, Bronx, New York. Let me tell you something. If you go into the Bronx and you're stupid enough to carry cash on you, not only are you getting scammed, but chances are you're going to get robbed. The police are going to find you naked and stabbed. And they're going to take your sneakers and they're going to take your money. And they never had a PS5. In fact, a lot of these ads are so fake. Look at this ad. This looks so fake. I bet that he just took a stock photo from the internet, and he put that on here, the Bronx. I ain't going to no goddamn Bronx. I don't even want to go through the Bronx to get to New Jersey. That's how bad the Bronx is. The Bronx is like a killing field. It's like, no, you don't want to go there for anything. If you're a kid and you get on Facebook Marketplace, this is worse than Craigslist. You are going to get scammed. I'm just going to say just like that. You are being scammed. Do not do it. And let me tell you this. These people on Facebook Marketplace, the first thing they're going to say to you is, oh, yeah, well, I've heard a lot of people tried to buy from me, but I've gotten stood up for a couple of times. So there's a deposit, and you got to put a deposit down. Do not put deposits down on one of these consoles. Do not do it. If you do it and you get robbed, and I see you on television after you get robbed, I'm going to laugh at my television because I said don't do it. If you send these people a deposit, they will disappear with the money. So you should think of it like this. Sending a deposit for Facebook Marketplace PS5 is just like sending a Nigerian prince money so that he can help you launder millions of dollars in oil money. You're getting scammed. Don't do it. Just don't do it. I'm telling you, don't do it. So all you little kids, and by the way, there's a reason I'm bringing this up. Some of my little cousins have called me up, and they're like, "Yeah, there's a guy on Facebook, and he's saying that he's selling it for this." And I'm like, "Yo, listen, it's a scam. It's a scam. Don't do it to yourself. It's a scam. It's all scams. And until you understand that it's all scams, you're going to get ripped off. Just don't do it. I don't want to see you get ripped off. I don't want to see you naked and stabbed and have your wallet stolen and your sneakers taken from you. Don't do it. And especially when you see these bad neighborhoods like the Bronx, New York, man, that's like going to Camden, New Jersey. Don't do it. It's a scam. It's like going into the middle of Chicago or Murderapolis. Don't do it. You're being scammed. Just don't do it. Leave the scammers alone. Leave the scammer. All you little kids, I know you want one of these things. You don't deserve it. Your parents ain't got the money. Your parents probably maxed out their credit cards for Thanksgiving. Don't do it. It's a scam. I keep saying it's a scam. I don't know how I beat it into your heads. This is a scam. Leave the scammers alone. So once again, the only way we're going to beat these people is if we all get together and sign petitions in order to tell eBay that you're not. Look at this shit. Look at this. Look at this. This guy's selling for $1,400 each. That's ridiculous. But listen, the only way you're going to beat them is if you tell eBay that we're going to boycott you unless you stop or put caps on these sales at MSRP. And if nobody can sell these things for any more than MSRP, the market for scalping will collapse. And not only should they do it for these, they should do it for video cards, and they should do it for Nintendo Switch, and they should do it for anything that they know that there's obvious scam and grift involved. And that, by the way, that doesn't automatically mean that the scamming will stop. The scams may continue. However, the scalping will be cut right in half because if they have no way to get rid of these things, they can't simply sit around with a bunch of PlayStations sitting in their house because ultimately they'll start losing money. So eventually they'll have no choice but to, give these things back to the stores that they bought them for. Because you think about it, if you buy a bunch of things on your credit card, and I take out $10,000 worth of PlayStations on a credit card, eventually the credit card bill is going to come due. Once that credit card bill comes due, either I have the money to pay it back or I don't. I would say that all you got to do is starve these scalpers for at least 2 months. And by then, they'll get hit with so many fees and fines if they don't pay it off or if they don't refund these things that it won't even be worth it to them to do this anymore. And and it's just like with iPhone. Apple widened the availability. They forced you to pre-order, and they made it so that all you do is you walk in, get the phone, and leave. There's no real line anymore. Until these retailers do it like that, the Apple way. Apple does everything smart. That's the reason why these stupid Samsungs are so boring, and they're trying to sell folding phones that suck, and when you put them in your pocket, they break, and the screen flexes, because glass don't fold. But anyway, not to get off a tangent. Until they do it like Apple does it, it's not good. Okay, it's just not good. So what I'm saying is we got to work together. We got to do, what is it called? We got to work together to do a boycott of eBay. And I'm a good guy on eBay. I have 350 positive stars. I sell a lot of stuff on eBay. Everybody loves me on eBay. I have no negative feedback. Bottom line is what's going on here is criminal. And until you do something about it, it's going to keep happening. And I tell you this, we are so lucky that games are downloaded now rather than you go to the store and purchase a game. And the reason why is because now with digital downloads, there's basically no supply issue. It doesn't matter how high the demand is for Cyberpunk or whatever, or Call of Duty. All you got to do is go on and download it. The worst that you'll have to do is wait a while for it to download because the servers are loaded up. But for the most part, we are lucky that the games themselves are digital and not physical. The problem is the hardware is physical, and it's subject to scalping. So you can tell me what you think about what I'm proposing, and I'm not saying this is even a proposal. I want to do this. I would love to put my face at the head of a national boycott for eBay and for Amazon, especially Amazon. I don't know why you idiots keep sending Jeff Bezos your money and then wondering why he's got trillions of dollars, he doesn't pay taxes. I don't send him a dime. I buy everything from eBay. I don't buy nothing from Jeff Bezos. So that's all I'm saying. So you can tell me what you think. And that's basically all I had to say. So, chances are you haven't gotten a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox. Chances are you're not going to get one. And that's just how it is. So until you're ready to do things my way, it's like nothing's going to change. So this is all I'm proposing. So you can tell me what you think about my recommendation, and I'll see you in the chat.